That's going to round it up. We will count down these seconds for you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's over.
Let's go!
The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59.
Welcome to another sports video. This is our beginner series for sports, starting with American football. The NFL is arguably more engaging than ever, with narratives such as the biggest NFL romance in Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, the Philadelphia Eagles breaking their 6-year non-championship streak, best quarterback chatter, is it the consistent QB, Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills, or the one that can get it done in a championship title match, Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles, or King Charles trying a forward pass, or even the fact that the NFL uses Roman numerals to represent each Super Bowl, which kind of makes sense. American football is an historic sport played in the United States and Canada, a few countries more broadly, that has existed since the late 19th century. Derived from the commonality of both rugby and football, which originated mid-19th century by William Webb Ellis, who ran with a ball in 1823. This is William's statue, which is on Dunchurch Road, Rugby in Warwickshire. The three sports variations have expanded vastly since then, with football ruling the world and American football ruling the United States. According to TV viewing record measured for the greatest audience of events for each of the sports, 2016 Super Bowl, 2016 NBA Finals Game 7, 2016 World Series Game 7, 2014 FIFA World Cup Final, 2010 Winter Olympics gold medal ice hockey game, it had the following breakdown. NFL took the top spot at 111.9 million among the top 5 major league sports in the US, compared to 2025 with the highest viewership yet at almost over 128 million views on February 9th, 2025, Philadelphia Eagles beating Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. When we travel across the pond, we see that American football has a long way to go before it becomes the top sport here in the UK, with football at 80% viewership among 4,123 UK adults who follow sports. The overall goal in American football is that it is based on a team consisting of offense and defense, and their goal is to score points in the opposing goal zones, also known as end zones. The game of play begins with a coin toss for which of the two teams will start. One team kicks off to the opposing team. The opposing team now has 4 chances to go 10 yards toward the end zone. These are called downs. The only way players can move this ball is either by utilizing throwing and catching or running. The goal of the defense is to stop these 4 chances of the offensive team by causing the offensive team to lose the ball, i.e. fumble, turnover, or to intercept, i.e. steal, the ball between players. The offensive team can take the ball to the end zone, which is 6 points, and is a touchdown. After a touchdown, the scoring team decide how they can score additional points, either kicking a field goal for 1 point or to attempt at getting to the end zone again for 2 points. The offensive team can also kick a field goal through the open center of the goalpost for 3 points. Game clock, team score, downs and yards. For example, 1st and 10. You'll often see these markers at the bottom of the screen, lower thirds, of a live NFL game. The first number is what chance the team is on. As the team has 4 chances to score points, downs, first means this is their first chance, i.e. first down, and 10 means they have 10 yards to go before getting another set of 4 chances, downs. If the team can only move 5 yards out of the 10, the new indicator will be 2nd and 5, meaning second chance, down, to get 5 yards for another set of 4 chances, downs. The NFL is made up of 2 conferences. First, American Football Conference, also known as AFC, and the National Football Conference, also known as NFC. Under these conferences, there are 8 further divisions. These include the North, East, South, and West for both conferences. The NFL annual calendar is similar to other American originated sports. Example, basketball, baseball. The NFL preseason are the annual games which NFL teams play, several friendly games which do not go toward the official season win-loss record. The NFL regular season are the annual games which NFL teams play, several games which do go towards the official season win-loss record and determines the placement of a team on the league, division, standing, and the playoffs bracket. The regular season also gives the space for players and franchise staff who perform to a high standard eligible to receive honors, with an additional honor of announcing ex-NFL players introduced to the Hall of Fame class of the given year. Awards for the regular to full season include, for players, MVP, Opoi, Depoy, Roy, O'Roy, D-Roy, and Sepoy. For the franchise, Koi, Akoi, and EOY, because it was hard to come up with a catchy term for it. And the AFC champion, aka Lamar Hunt Trophy, and the NFC champion, aka George Halas Trophy. The NFL postseason, also known as the NFL playoffs, is the annual single elimination tournament held to determine the league champion, also known as the Super Bowl winning team. The 4-round tournament is held after the league's regular season. The winner of the AFC and NFC goes to the Super Bowl to claim champion for the year. The postseason also gives the space for players and franchise staff who perform to a high standard eligible to receive further honors than the regular season. So for players, there's a Super Bowl MVP, and for the franchise, the Super Bowl champion, also known as the Vince Lombardi Trophy. There are 32 teams in the NFL. Under the two conferences, there are 16 teams in the AFC and 16 teams in the NFC. The AFC breakdown by division include the North, Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers. The East, Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots, New York Jets. The South, Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars, and Tennessee Titans. The West, Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs, Las Vegas Raiders, Los Angeles Chargers. The NFC teams broken down by division include the North, Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, and Minnesota Vikings. East, Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles, and Washington Commanders. The South, Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The West, Arizona Cardinals, Los Angeles Rams, San Francisco 49ers, and the Seattle Seahawks. Positions in the NFL, starting with offensive. So we start with the offensive line, which is a group of players who protect the quarterback and running backs. We also have the center, an offensive line player whose main role is to direct his offensive line counterparts in the right direction to execute the play. The offensive guard, a player whose main role is to block defensive players and create space for their team to score. And the offensive tackle, a player whose main role is to block for the quarterback and running back to make plays and move across the field. Then we come to the backs, starting with the most important player on the field, the quarterback, a player whose main role is to manage the team's offense, calling plays and moving the ball down the field. The running back, a player whose main role is to be part of the offensive backfield and they rush the ball, catch passes, and block opposing players. The halfback, an offensive line player whose main role is to carry the ball during most plays. And the fullback, a player whose main role is to carry out power running, pass catching, and blocking for both the quarterback and the running back. We also have the wide receiver, a player whose main role is to catch passes from the quarterback and gain yards, aiming to run with the ball to score touchdowns. And the tight end, a player whose main role is to block for both the quarterback and running back. They can also run into the field and catch passes. Now onto the defense. We start with the defensive line, a group of players who stop the running back on rushing plays and pressuring the quarterback on passing plays by attempting to break through the offensive line. Defensive tackle, a defensive line player whose main role is to line up on the defensive line in the middle of the field, have lateral movement and blocking passes in open space. The nose tackle, a defensive line player whose main role is to play in front of the offensive center and be the closest to the ball, and wing blocks against the offensive line. Then we have the defensive end, whose main role is to line up outside the defensive tackles and on the ends of the defensive line to contain the offense by attacking or stopping runs and passes at the edges. The backers, linebackers, players whose main role is to support defensive linemen to close the gaps, stop running backs, and support perimeter players on passing plays. Middle linebackers, defensive players whose main role is to play behind the defensive line and in front of defensive backs, referred to as the quarterback of the defense. And then we have the outside linebackers, defensive players whose main role is to be in position to blitz, a tactic used by the defense to disrupt pass attempts by the offense, usually targeting to rush the quarterback. And further backs, we have the cornerback, a player whose main role is to cover the opposing team's wide receivers and prevent them from catching passes. Then we have the safety, a player whose main role is to defend against the pass, provide safety on rushing plays, and rush into the offensive backfield to disrupt the play, making tackles when necessary. Then we have the special teams, a group of players consisting of offensive and defensive players who kick plays and return the ball. There's a kicker, whose role is to attempt to score points by kicking the ball, whose main role is to kick the ball to the opposing team after receiving it from the line of scrimmage. Holder, main role to receive the snap from the long snapper during field goal or extra point attempts. Long snapper, whose main role is to quickly and accurately throw the ball between their legs. Kick returner / punt returner, main role is to catch the opposing team's kickoff and attempting to run the ball back toward the end zone to score a touchdown. Upback / personal protector, whose main role is to act as the last line of defense for the punter. A gunner, whose main role is to specialize in running down the sideline very quickly on kickoffs and punts. And a jammer, whose main role is to slow down gunners during punts. An NFL game is for an hour long, 60 minutes. The game is divided into 4 quarters of 15 minutes each, with a 12-minute break after the second quarter. If the score is not determined, then there is an overtime of 10 minutes to determine a potential winner or call the game a tie. The referee leads the crew of officials. The line judge backs up the timekeeper if the clock stops working. The side judge monitors the area between the umpire and the field judge and calls penalties for catches and pass interference. And the field judge stands under the upright opposite the back judge during field goal and extra point attempts. Clipping, an NFL penalty of 15 yards backwards when a blocker contacts a non-ball carrying opponent from behind, at, or below the waist. Delay of game, an NFL penalty of 5 yards backwards when a player goes past the play clock time allowance. Encroachment, an NFL penalty of 5 yards backwards when a defensive player is in violation of the neutral zone at the snap. False start, an NFL penalty of 5 yards backwards when an offensive player illegally moves after lining up before the ball is snapped. Holding, an NFL penalty of 10 yards if done by the offense and 5 yards forward for the offense, and a first down given if done by the defense. An offensive player can't grab a defensive player while trying to block him. A defensive player may not grab or impede an offensive player other than the ball carrier. Illegal formation, an NFL penalty of 5 yards backwards. The offense must line up with 7 men on the line of scrimmage. If they fail to do so, it is an illegal formation. Pass interference, an NFL penalty of 10 yards backwards if done by the offense. When a forward pass is thrown, both the offensive and defensive players have the right to catch the football. But once the ball is airborne, a player may not interfere with another player to impede him from getting to the football. And unsportsmanlike conduct, an NFL penalty of 15 yards backwards and a first down given if done by the defense. A broad term for an array of personal foul infractions a player might commit against the spirit of the game. This includes taunting another player, kicking the ball after the play is over, or abusive language to an official or other player. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. At Cloutskout, we also release weekly newsletters on economy, sports, and culture. If you'd like to subscribe, you can see the link in the description.